Okay, so the last time that we touched Rondo Capriccio, which was a couple weeks ago, we just focused on really learning the A theme. So now this week we're going to learn the B, the C, and the D themes. So this shouldn't take very long. It's not super complicated piece and everything. Keep in mind, we talked about last time, the hands are in the same 5-finger positions. So this is something that may have gotten cut off in your first semester of piano, but think of it that way, that you're going to be existing in these 5-finger positions. So with that being said, let's play through measure 5 to measure 9, and then we're going to stop and talk. So start at measure 5. Let's go about 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, so now in measure 9, I think I've talked through this before a little bit. You want to circle every finger change because that's typically going to mean, hey, you're going to move. That's really nice that they provide that for you because you don't get that a lot in the future. So circle the 3s and then figure out what's your first note. We're going to be on E's in both hands. Okay, so you're going to be situated there until further notice for this B theme. So 1, 2, rest. Rest. The next page, no fingering change, and your first notes are still E, so you're going to stay there. 2, 4, 2. Rest. Okay, so that's basically the B theme. It just helps to get into that a little bit. Okay. Next week, we will practice, well, in the next couple of weeks, we'll practice just stringing it all together and getting from transition to transition. But for right now, let's go to measure 21 and get into the C variation. We're in the same 5-finger position, of course, that we were at the beginning. Okay, so 1, 2, ready, go. Rest. Cool. Now we look at measure 25. We got a fingering change, so circle that. 5 is going to now go on D. If you have trouble with ledger note lines, write this sucker in. You go down, start with D, go over, figure out where D is, and then work your way down. C, B, A, G, right here. Okay? And then, if you need to, you can write in the next one in measure 27 on beat 3. That's an A flat, and then the rest you guys should know and be pretty comfortable with, and then we're back to the A theme. But 5 is on G, and then take a look at where the left hand is. 1 is on D. Okay? So first, before you even play it, take a look and see if you can figure out what pattern is going on. Okay? If we were in class, I would ask somebody for this answer, but we're not. But take a second and just look through and see if you can figure out there's some specific interval that's being used over and over. Okay, you've not figured it by now? You're using fifths over and over, just on various notes. Okay, so an easy way to break this down, and this will take a little bit of practice, is to actually play the fifths at the same time. Like that. That may require you to figure out what notes you have going on. So if you need to, you can write it. Okay, we got D and G, then we got E flat and A flat. And then because it's not exactly just going like that, there's a little bit of difference. So what I'm going to do, let's play those together, and I'll call out the notes when we play them, up all the way up until measure 32. Okay, so D and G, E flat and A flat, E flat and A flat. Measure 29, we're going to move way up to A flat and D flat. Same on the left hand. Now this is where it's going to be tricky, a little bit tricky. B flat and E flat, D flat and A flat. You get a little bit of a rest. Back down to E flat and A flat. Okay, let's do that really quickly now without me calling out those notes. G. video because this is easy to me noticing this, but, or in doing this rather. But in those rests, when one hand is not playing, I'm trying to move that hand up to the next note. That way you're there and you're ready to go. That'll take a little bit of practice, but it's something to keep in mind. So let's now play it as written. Good. Okay. And now let's go for the, this page will not stay still. Let's go for the D theme. So measure 41 to the end. Okay. All right. So this is actually a section you could do hand separate. So let's try that. Okay. All right. So for measure 41, 2, and that's a tied note. 1, 2, 3, rest. E flat, A flat, 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look ahead for your next notes, and then move up. And then since we're just learning is take your time and find the notes. C and A. Okay. All right. Now let's go back, do the left hand, and then we'll put them together. So your first note is 3 on A down there. Take a look ahead to measure 46, and if you need to, that first note is C. Okay. If you need to, write that in. Measure 41. Let's start from there. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3. Rest. 1, 2, 3. Move your hand. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Yeah, so especially in the left hand, you have a ton of time to take advantage of those breaks and work on moving. It's going to be hard, I know, with also playing your right hand. That's a skill that you can work on and develop. I'm not expecting you to do it overnight. So now let's try it hands together from beginning to end, and that'll be it for this week. 1, 2, ready, go. It's a little bit fast, but that's okay. Rest. Good. And then saying those rests out loud is going to help, especially in those measures to count while one hand's kind of sitting there and the left hand's not doing anything. Okay. Next week, we will have an assignment over playing that hands together, but see if you can do a little bit of that this week. All right.